Hello, this is Sebastian from socialanxietysolutions.com. I'm a social confidence coach and I help people to go from social anxiety to calm and relax in social situation. I do this using a different approach than the mainstream approach. So, I'm not all about change your thoughts and forcefully face yourself to, face the things that you're afraid of. Though it does have value to change your thoughts, and the mindfulness techniques are somewhat helpful. They're just far more effective approaches in order to get to a place where you're anxiety free. That's right, anxiety free. Where there, the wind blew you away. Where there is no anxiety, where you're actually calm and at ease, where you have a good time socially. Is this gonna go right? Is this gonna go right? And so what I want to talk about today is facing your fears. What? Yes. Actually not facing your fears, but more getting outside your comfort zone, because I think there's a bit of a misinterpretation as to what people mean by it and maybe with what I mean by it. So, start with a story. So, the end of 2018, I was like, oh, what's going to be my New Year's resolution for 2019? And I'm like, it's going to be doing more new things. Because, there are a bunch of things here that I kind of have made fun of. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably not for me. It's not my thing. And, I've kind of postponed it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do these things this year, and we'll see what happens. Now, I don't have social anxiety, right? That's not something that's in my life any longer, thank God. But there's still things that I prefer and things that I don't prefer. And so, things that I don't prefer, that I'm not familiar with, you could say these are outside my comfort zone. So anything that's new is outside your comfort zone because you're not automatically comfortable with it. But something being outside of what you're familiar with and going to do that makes you familiar with more things. So then you grow more comfortable with a wider array of things. So that's what I mean with getting outside your comfort zone. But when you're comfortable with yourself, and you're able to connect with people, and you feel you can handle anything that comes your way, it's not that you're facing your fears. It's more that you're exploring what's outside your current comfort zone. And I think that in a lot of the personal development that is outside the social anxiety realm, that's actually what they mean with the magic is outside your comfort zone. What they mean is, you want to try out new things and then see what happens, see the growth that is inherent in that. So, one of the things that I just did yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yesterday, the day before yesterday? Yesterday, time flies. Was I went to an authentic, relating, conscious communication workshop. And I've been making fun of that the last year because I'm like, this uber hippie stuff, that's not really my thing. It's like sitting in front of each other. It's like, holding hands and singing Kumbaya, my Lord. That's not really me necessarily, but I want to have the experience. So I went to the thing. My friend Jade wanted to come along, so I'm like, great. And so we went there. And so it starts out and you sit in a circle and we're all we were told what the quote-unquote rules were, and they had a couple of funny hand gestures, and then we had to walk around in the room, make eye contact with the people in the room, and kind of look at each other, and then whenever you feel a particular connection with a certain person, that person is who you're gonna do a particular exercise with. And so we did. And, then I sat down with this girl, and then we're supposed to eye gaze, maintain connection, and she's gonna tell, what she didn't like in 2018 and what she wanted to get rid of, and then afterwards what she wanted to bring into her life in 2019, all the while maintaining eye contact. And she also had to express how she wanted to let go of that which wasn't serving her anymore with her body or with sounds. So some people in the room were like screaming, some people, and she made some, you know, weird head exercises, and anyway, like what I expected beforehand, why I made fun of it, kind of happened. It was a bit of a fruity place, a bit of a freak show, but it was actually really nice, and it was very much connecting with everyone in the room. And you know, afterwards we all went for dinner, and it was just a great time. And yeah, these kinds of experiences kind of give you a broader perspective, and it you know, it kind of updates your current perceptions about what's going on. Because what you do want to do, this is kind of the main message of my video, is you do want to try out new things. You do want to go outside your comfort zone. However, if outside your comfort zone is, all right, I'm gonna go to this new thing, and when I think about it, it's an 8 out of 10 strong fear. Yeah, that's not really what I mean, because then you're likely gonna have a very unpleasant experience. So if that's your experience, you have a really strong fear of doing something, then you want to do some inner work first to get yourself to neutral, or at least to minimize your fears, so that when you go into it, you know, you're not already all shaken and like protecting yourself from getting hurt and worried that you're gonna be embarrassed and those kinds of things. So you first want to do some inner work, some tapping, some of these release techniques. But then once you're comfortable, or relatively comfortable, then you want to start new things, because you want to get outside your comfort zone, especially for the people that are just sitting at home all the time. That makes your world really, really small, you know? So start doing small little things. That might be like a yoga class. And what you want to do is you want to pick one thing to become comfortable with. So, you know, pick one particular area in your life that you want to be comfortable with. That if you're comfortable there, now you have a safe zone there. So, let me see if I have an example of this. Maybe a couple of years ago, I went to a co-working space for the first time, and I was uncomfortable with that idea, but I was like, well, if I'm eventually comfortable here, that's gonna open up my world in such a big way, because I'm gonna meet these interesting people, they're like-minded, I'll be able to network with people, I'll be invited to go to different places, I'll make new friendships. So this is a very potent area for me to be totally comfortable and at ease in. So I'm gonna make this an area that I focus on for a while until I'm totally at ease there. That's what I recommend, okay? And then, yeah, there's such beauty in trying out new things, because you get to meet more new people, and you'll find out a lot of things about yourself. You know, this girl, what she said after eye gazing for a while, so it was her turn, she started out sharing, and then afterwards it was my turn sharing, and then after that we were talking about, that was an exercise as well, we were talking about how it was for us staring into each other's eyes and sharing these things. And you know, I was sharing that I felt quite comfortable with it, that I thought it was a bit funny when we had to physically express letting go of something, and that I found myself a bit judgmental of that, but other than that, that it was pretty much fine. And I said that I had noticed that I felt more connected to her, and that I saw her as more beautiful as we were so connected and she was sharing, which she liked. And then when she was sharing, one of the first things that she said was like, oh, I felt terrified and panic at the beginning of sitting down and staring at each other's eyes. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And then she said, but as we started sharing and as we were connecting, and I had shared, and then you started speaking about what you wanted to let go of, and you had your stuff, and you share what you wanted to attract into your life, then I felt like, we're very similar, we're very the same, and that's when I started to relax into things. Well, what an experience, right? I had no idea in the beginning that she was so freaked out. I thought she was just very focused on maintaining eye contact, you know. Maybe I was oblivious to it because I was focusing on maintaining the eye contact as well, and I was kind of observing my inner experience and trying to connect as deeply as possible. Anyway, it was very insightful for me to get her experience, and it was also nice that I went there. I had particular ideas about how it was going to be. Some of them were true, others were not true, but I came out of it and I met a whole bunch of new people, and I felt more connected as a result of these silly exercises. So I would have never found out about that, and I would have never expanded my world if I hadn't tried these new things. Now, this is just something from my life right now. I've done many of these things. You know, I've done tons of these things. I've lived in different countries. I've lived in different cultures. I started playing frisbee. I started dancing salsa. Is also something quite recent. But you know, I went to co-working spaces. I constantly kind of grew myself, and I became more comfortable with more areas of life. Until there's like, you know, it's hard to find something that I'm not comfortable with, right? So where you're not comfortable, that's where your next growth opportunity is. So I guess that's my message of today. Start doing new things. Whenever look for something new that you can do where there's a lot of benefit for you in it once you're comfortable with it. Now, it might take you a day to get comfortable with it, might take you a month, might take you a year to become comfortable with it, but have a longer term perspective. Think about, wow, if I keep doing inner work and after a year I'm comfortable in this area of my life, what would be the benefit of that? You know? So, do that, all right? That would be a good one. Okay, signing off for now. Releasing videos like this every week. You can press somewhere to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.